Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our virtual Family Council meeting. My name is Jamie Rose. I am your virtual meeting coordinator. We're going to review our confidentiality reminder at this point. Please refrain from using the name of your loved one. Do not name specific facilities. Please use a nursing home or the personal care home to present to the group. And if you need specific assistance, please use the chat feature to state which county you are in, and we'll get you connected to your assigned ombudsman. And a reminder, these calls have public access and are designed for family members and friends of residents in long-term care facilities. Just review our meeting agenda. We're going to get our virtual meeting tips from Eliza, and then we'll turn it over to Candy so she can introduce all of our peer residents for this evening, and then we'll wrap up the meeting with our upcoming meeting topics. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Eliza.
Hi, everybody. You all have been placed in mute upon entry to the meeting tonight. So we will open the lines in a bit so that we're all able to share and talk with our peers. If you'd like to speak or if you have a question, please use the raise hand feature. Once you raise your hand, we'll know that you'd like to speak and we'll unmute your line. If you hover over your mouse near the bottom of the screen, you'll see the participants tab. So if you'd like to see who all is in the meeting tonight, you can expand that and then you'll be able to see everyone in the meeting. The chat feature is at the bottom of your screen as well. Once you maximize that, you'll be able to chat with the presenters and anyone during the call. Closed captioning is also available during this call. If you press the CC button at the bottom of your screen, you'll be able to see the closed captioning. If you need to step away, you can stop sharing your camera by clicking on the camera icon at the bottom of your screen. You can click on it again to start sharing your camera again. Concerns or complaints can be directed to the State Ombudsman Office at 717-783-8975 or by email at ltc-ombudsman@pa.gov. So without further ado, we'd like to introduce Candy Schreffler.
Hi, everybody. My name, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Candy Schreffler. I am the Regional Ombudsman Specialist for the Southeast region. I also coordinate the state level peer activities. And I am so happy to be here tonight with a wonderful group of our peers. I just want to tell, for those of you that are not familiar with what the peer program is, it stands for Pennsylvania Empowered Expert Residents. And believe me, that's what they are. It started in 2002 with 3 residents that were in a nursing home that wanted to take the training to become an ombudsman. So the state office wanted to do something. So they responded by developing an advocacy and empowerment training for those 3 residents to address issues within their facility. Following that, with that program, they piloted it in the 5 regions in the state of Pennsylvania. And it was a standardized training curriculum, and it was developed and formalized with a developed and formalized peer train the trainer. That is the training that we train at the state office to the ombudsman to train the peers. So there's all kinds of trainings that were put in place. It was established to make this program accessible to all the counties that choose to participate. And boy, since 2002, did it expand. We have peer in the majority of Pennsylvania counties, and there have been over 4,000 peers trained in this program since the inception. There are over 1,500 active peers at this moment. This past year has proven that a worldwide pandemic cannot stop the peers from their activities. Along with all their local programs with their local ombudsman, the peers have participated in statewide projects. They participated in 2 virtual resident rights bingo. Now this is statewide, where they not only had fun, but their most very valuable resident rights were reiterated. We also launched a statewide staff appreciation through the Long-Term Care Ombudsman's office at the state, where peers were handed out state small tokens of their appreciation to staff across the entire state. Another project that was launched from the state level was the Peer Pen Pal project, where the peers were matched with other peers across the state to have a pen pal. And each one of those peers that participated in it received a welcoming kit that included a slanted lap desk, as well as a magnifying light to provide assistance if they needed it. The peer program continues to grow. In part, it is due to the local ombudsman and their passion for the program, and the statewide, and as well as the providers that partner with us that value this very important program. And now I would like to introduce our very distinguished guests. Next slide, please. First, we have Anna Stevenson. Anna is a 91-year-old widow who has been living at her facility for the past 4 years. She has a son and a daughter who are in the area and a granddaughter who lives in central Pennsylvania. She's been a peer for the past 2 years and said she's so happy to help others and is blessed to be in great health, although she cannot walk without a walker and also uses a wheelchair. Prior to coming to the facility, the community, she lived in Willow Grove. Anna is a retired service clerk for Prudential Insurance. Welcome, Anna. Next, we have Terry Moore. We have Terry Moore, and she's a peer at resident at Spring Creek Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And she is also on this peer state advisory council. She volunteers to manage the residence library at Spring Creek and assists those who need help filling out their names. She also helps filling out their names on the menus. She has been the past president of the resident council, and she earned her RN as well as her BSN working in the ED department at Maryland's Shock Trauma Unit. Wow. She taught the trauma nurse core course and the emergency nurse pediatric course. She enjoys helping her fellow residents and is a model peer. Welcome, Terry. Next slide. We have Nancy Koppel. Nancy has been a peer for 2.5 years and loves it. She's a registered nurse and she graduated from East Orange General Hospital School of Nursing. She obtained her RN there. She worked as a charge nurse in pediatrics, did home health and visiting nurse for a few years, and she graduated from Pennsylvania State University with a BS in business administration with a major in accounting. She then became an auditor and did financial statements for 2 different hospitals. She has 1 daughter, Allison, and 2 granddaughters, Alexis and Elizabeth, and she enjoys FaceTiming with them. As a peer, Nancy trains new staff at orientation about their resident rights and also the peer program. She reviews quite a lot of the resident rights and answers any questions that they have. She explains to them how important family is and that this is their home. She gives them the chain of command by teaching them about the ladder of resolution and explains the grievance process. She's using that peer training. Nancy also educates new residents when they come into the community about resident rights, and she's on the peer advisory council and has participated in family resident council meetings in the past. Nancy enjoys being a peer and we love having her. Next slide. And last, but certainly not least, is our Becky Allen. Becky's full name is Roberta Allen. She has been a resident at the Gardens of Tunkhannock for almost 5 years. She has her associate's degree in general studies, and she's currently the resident council president and a member of the peer committee there. Her hobbies include crafting, playing bingo, shopping, and working at the resident store and advocating for all the residents. Becky enjoys meeting new people and helping residents in any way that she can. She says, "This is our home and we enjoy helping others adjust to their new, temporary, or long-term care home. Welcome to all our distinguished peers tonight. Next slide. And now we're going to open up this discussion and talk to the peers and find out what has been happening this past year. So first, I'm going to ask Becky to answer this.
Okay.
What have been some of the day-to-day changes that you've been experiencing in the facility? What are some of those changes?
Well, there's been a lot of quarantining due to COVID. So that makes day-to-day changes on activities. We all can't participate together. Visitation is open, so that's a good thing. But we've been plagued with COVID since the beginning of when it reared its ugly head.
Right. So they've been some of the changes that you've had at your facility. Just day to day, you don't really know if you're going to be, if the visitation's going to be different. Is that what you're saying because of the numbers of COVID in your building?
Well, that's been pretty well established that we are open for visitation.
Right. Okay.
We're impacted on activities.
Oh, I
We all can't participate in an activity like we used to.
Right. So the
We're-
day to day is how the numbers are, whether you can have group activities right now at your community.
Correct. It changes from day to day.
Okay. How about you, Anna? What are some of your day-to-day changes that you've been experiencing in the facility?
Well, there's one out on our floor that I'm very happy with. It has to do with laundry, or not laundry. It's kind of like, we had originally a closet in the main part of the building to put linens, when they would come up. And so the
Sure.
aides would have to walk a distance to get to them, because in my facility, we have 4 wings, and it's a distance from here to where they had to go. Then they got 4 carts, 1 for each wing, and they put the linens in there, and it makes it so much easier for the aides to get them, and it saves time, and I think that's a big plus. I'm real happy about that.
Oh, that's good. So through this COVID, as you know, we're in this, Anna, what are some of the things that you see that are changing day to day that you've been experiencing over the past 2 years?
Everything seems to be changing.
Right. Like the rules keep on changing, and are the activities changing? And
Well, the activities are somewhat they're trying to get back to normal. Like we do have
Good.
bingo with a large collection of people. We're supposed to keep our distance, and we do have to wear our mask. And that's just once a week. And we can go down to our dining room, which is nice, but that's been like on again, off again, depending on whether or not we are
right.
from the COVID. But we're getting there. Right now, we're doing good. I mean, we can go out, and I'm very happy about all that. I hope it continues to stay well like it is now.
Right. So maybe one day you might be able to go to the dining room, and the next you might not be able to. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's happened a few times.
All right. How about you, Nancy? What's going on there? Some of the day-to-day changes that you're experiencing in your facility.
Well, we're finally able now to have our family and visitors come into our room. They have to wear a mask, and the curtain has to be pulled with a roommate, which most of us have roommates. At first, we had to visit in the lobby, and they had to make a specific time that they were come in and visit us. Now they can come in anytime and stay for as long as they want, but just 2 people at a time. And under 18 cannot visit. Children under 18 cannot visit. We're still eating in our rooms. Our dining room has not opened. That's a problem. We don't get socialization as much. Activities were room to room. Now we're starting, we have 8 halls here, and we have an east and a west. 4 halls are on the east and 4 are on the west. We're starting to have activities
about
in
that.
small groups.
Oh, that's a cool thing.
Yes, it's
Right.
very nice.
It's a huge starfish.
And we're able to leave our
Two
room to
foot
go
tall.
around the building. At first, we had halls that were closed and just
You want your door
COVID.
closed again?
Now we do
Close your
not
door?
have any residents with
Hey,
COVID,
Germany.
so all the halls are open. Our problem is our staff is not fully vaccinated, most of them. It's like 60% are, but 40% aren't yet. They've said that the staff has to get fully vaccinated in our facility by January the 4th, I believe it is, the 3rd or 4th after Christmas. So we'll see if we lose staff or not. If some will refuse to get vaccinated or what. I've talked to some of the staff and they have different reasons, the ones that are not vaccinated. So
Right.
be facing another loss of some staff.
So that's, since you brought that up, that's probably very, very, almost scary for all of you that are on the call with the mandation, with the vaccination, although, you know, of course it's necessary. That you don't know if you're going to be even more short-staffed than you were before. So that has to be a concern for all of you. Terry, what's your thought on that?
The short staffing,
Well, just that with the vaccination mandation in the, yeah.
on
Are you
our
guys
floor,
concerned?
yeah, on our floor, they went by, these 2 people went by the December 5th
Okay,
deadline. We've lost our secretary and we lost a really good LPN already. And so, and other than that, we are getting more and more. Oh my gosh, I have this, you had to do this for me last time. Rent a nurse, agency.
agency, yeah. Mhm.
I have like a block
Yeah.
about that word. And they are actually sort of scary. We
Really?
had, yeah, the other week we had myself and another resident almost had a medication error. She caught hers. I happened to be helping somebody with their menu. And I heard this nurse call the person I was working with by another name. And I said, "Who are you looking for?" And she told me. I said, "That's my roommate across the hall. Furthermore, her meds are crushed."
Oh,
Yeah.
so in
2 errors,
essence, you
2 different
really,
nurses. It was 2
Yeah.
errors, 2 different nurses, same day.
wow. And
Yeah.
I hope you reported that to the proper people.
Oh, I absolutely did. But I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
it's just scary.
It's very
um,
scary.
And these are agency people, you know, I mean, we don't have this kind of problem with people who normally work with us.
Right. And we're
So-
hearing that from a lot of the peers. With the different agency staff, they don't know all of you. And that's a real concern, that they're just coming in and just, you know, and errors happen. And
But
that's a real concern with
even if-
everybody.
Even if they don't know us, I mean, our names are posted outside the door.
Hmm.
You know, she never waited for the person to respond to her. Yes, that is me, you know, or that
Wow.
is him. You know, she just started. I was like, well, wait a minute. You know, I mean, if I hadn't been there, that
Mm.
person would have gotten my roommate, who has another way different disease, you know, than the 2 very different people. And it's just scary.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Anne, I'm going to jump back to you since we opened this up. This is a great conversation. What I want to know is, Anna, how are you feeling with the mandation, with the staff, with the vaccine? Are you concerned at all about staffing in your community?
Definitely, we're definitely understaffed, and I think it's a shame. I feel sorry for the aides because so many times, if we should have, say, 5 on the floor, we're down to 3. The company here does not compensate them for taking on more, more
Right.
residents that they're responsible for. To me, I put myself in the position of being a CNA, and I would not be happy with it. And I'm surprised that the CNAs don't complain more about that.
Right. So are you concerned with the short staffing? I don't know what the date was for your employees at your community to get the vaccine. Are you concerned that once that deadline, are you losing a lot of your staff?
Yeah, we did. We already had our deadline. We lost quite a few.
Gotcha.
Right.
How about you, Nancy? Do you want to talk about that at all?
Well, we didn't hire CNAs for a long time. I usually go when they have new employees every 2 weeks. I talk to them about the peer program, resident rights, if they answer any questions, the grievance process, things like that. And I didn't go for a whole year. We didn't hire any aides or nurses for a whole year. Now we are starting to hire them again. We're starting to hire nurses and aides, which I'm hopeful about, because this deadline coming up, we may lose some. So I'm happy to see new employees coming in.
Good, 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 good.
Yeah,
All right,
Andy,
go ahead.
one of
Yes.
the things that we have been seeing is that not only with CNAs and whatnot, but people who come in, yes, they want to be hired, but and I think they're doing it to get
The bonus.
well, not just the bonus goes in a year, but I mean, you have to work here for a year, but they work for 2 or 3 days and then they quit because they can prove to workman's comp, or not workman's comp.
And unemployment.
Unemployment, you know, that
Oh.
they did actually try for a job.
Oh,
Yeah, and then they continue on with their unemployment that way.
well, that's an interesting wrench in that. I've never even thought about that.
Oh,
How
yeah.
about you, Becky? Do you have anything to say about the staffing right now and with the vaccination? I think we asked you to unmute, Becky, because you had a little background. So you have a little button that says, please unmute in the middle of your screen. We'll give her a second to unmute.
There it goes.
There she goes.
Okay.
All right.
We have a major concern about it. I think every resident likes to know that their aides know them and know what they need and know what they like. And with the shortage, our aides are being shifted from one wing to another wing, back to another wing, and nobody knows the resident. It's a whole new ball game when we get a staff member who's been switched over from one wing. I kind of think that's unfair to the residents.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
You know, not knowing that they don't know us. And someone had spoke about medication errors. And I find I haven't heard of any here, but that's a big concern of mine. These nurses don't know what their residents take and what they don't take. And and with this thing about being vaccinated, and if you're not, you're going to lose your job. I think that's totally unfair, because we're going to stand to lose quite a few of very good aides and very good nurses.
And that's what this is all about.
Bothers me.
Right. And that's what this is about. And that's why we love this conversation with all of you, because there's such a wide variety of different opinions. And what you're saying, we value. And so you're saying you really don't like that idea of staff being mandated for vaccinations?
No.
Okay.
I think that's and I can get into it on both arguments on both sides. My son and his family are not vaccinated because he's afraid. He's afraid to put something strange into his body. And on the other hand, if I don't get vaccinated, which I am, am I doing harm to other people?
Mhm.
Right.
You know,
Mhm. Right.
it's a hard one on that, but I would hate to lose the aides that aren't vaccinated because they're some of the best.
I see what you're saying. Yes. So some different perspectives on that. Let's move on to another question. And I'm going to go with Nancy. Has your experience so far during these holidays this year, how are they? Are they better than last year? Are they improving from
Yes.
2020 to now? What are the
Yes.
changes? Tell us how things have improved.
Very much so. We are able to go out now. We were not able to go out in 2020. We're able to have our family come in if we can't go out. That is a big improvement.
Yes.
Yes, it makes morale better. All the residents who didn't have their family come in and visit are now picked up in spirits, and they're doing much better. We had about 44 residents die with COVID in 2020.
Oh, Nancy, that's terrible. I'm so sorry.
Yes, and many of the other residents felt a great loss. And also what happened in this facility was if you had COVID, you had to go to Red Hall where all the people had COVID. And if
Right.
you went to a Green Hall where nobody had COVID on that unit, people were moved all over the place. And it was very disruptive and a lot of residents upset with the moves. So I had to talk to many residents and they lost things, you know, it got come in the move or whatever. Here at my facility, they were good. They looked for the things or they replaced things that were lost. And now we're back in the rooms that we were in originally, and it's much better. Everybody is more secure now.
Well, just by what you're saying, your spirits have to be much better than last year.
Yes.
So how about you, Anna? So what are your thoughts? What are the differences in the experiences this year during the holiday season than last year?
I see a big improvement. Last year was kind of very quiet and very limited. We really couldn't go out. They couldn't come in.
Right.
And this, as we are now, is wonderful. If it would only continue, it's a big difference. I'm very happy about it.
Right. Okay. And how about Becky? Do you have anything to say on that about how different your experiences this year for the holidays from last year are?
Other than family being able to come in, last year my family stood on one side of the window and I stood on the other side and we opened our presents. It was really, really sad.
Yes.
This year it's open. The only thing here at our facility is this COVID, and we were gonna throw a big Christmas party for the residents.
Right.
And we can't do that.
Oh.
That's been put on hold, or it's not gonna happen.
How about you, Terry? Are you experiencing the same thing, that it is better just because of the visiting? You guys aren't looking at people through a window? Just the fact that your families are coming back into the facility?
Yeah, socialization is the big thing right now. It's much better than it was, excuse me. We have had an uptick on COVID things. We've now up to, or at least last week we had 9. 4 were staff and the rest were residents. And we had been
Wow.
down to 1 or 2, or actually none, for quite a few weeks.
Right.
So this uptick in cases, we're not sure what that's about. And again, they've got them all off onto one wing someplace, but on a floor. But they are able to come back. They are able to come back to their rooms after their 2-week, 10-day quarantine. So they're not really losing it. They're coming right back to where they were. I know the other person, that wasn't their thing. But for us, yeah, it's a socialization. There's
Mhm.
a little more decoration going on than last year. Not as many Christmas trees. That had to do with Nathan. And he was the Christmas tree guru. But
Right.
there's
Oh, I
a,
know Nathan. Like I said, I decorated a Christmas tree with him one time.
yeah, we had multiple trees. Right now, there's one in the lobby that he did. But
Yeah.
right at the moment, we're not allowed to have any group gatherings. Although there's a group of us on my floor that come together every night to play Uno. But we're the
Nice.
same, we've done it for a long time, and we're the same group of people.
Nice.
So it's not like, and we get tested every 2 days or every twice a week now,
Do
again,
you?
because of the uptick in the COVID cases.
It sounds like from what you're all saying is the biggest change is the visiting is the biggest
Yeah.
change. It's back to visiting. So that it has to be a much more positive atmosphere and make everybody's spirits better.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. How about, let's just talk a little bit about, and let's start with Becky Allen. Tell me a little bit, since this whole, the coronavirus has been in the facilities, what has been the difference with your peer support to your fellow residents?
Kind of, one day we can go and visit with other residents, and next day we're shut down. It's been, what the word I want to say is sporadic.
Yeah, there's no consistency.
I can't even get, camaraderie with my fellow peers because they're quarantined on their wing.
Right.
So I can't even see them or, other than, messaging them.
Right. So it sounds
It's
like you're
been
saying,
hard.
go ahead. Yep, sorry.
No, it's been hard to socialize and
Right.
meet with other residents. It's crazy.
Right.
That's
It
the only
sounds
way
like
I
you're
can
saying,
put it.
right. I was just thinking when you were talking, so if you would, one day you're able to go visit a new resident that comes into the community, and then you're not allowed to for 3 days. That consistency and that camaraderie that you wanted to build with that resident kind of gets lost a little bit.
Right.
Is that, the follow-up? How about you, Nancy? What do you have to say about that? What have the changes been with your peer groups and your support to fellow residents since this pandemic started?
Well, I used to go and I was training another peer to go and see all new residents and bring them the peer resident booklet and talk about resident rights and see if
Great.
they're having any non-medical problems. And then I would talk to them and they could tell me if they were having problems when they first came in. I could address that and try to correct it. That was very good. Then I could go and follow up with them. Well, I hadn't been able to do that for almost a year. Now it's just going to start again to be all the floors are open, and I'm going to try to start doing that again. I have to get permission from our administrator to do that because she had told me no, she didn't want me to go to new residents. So now the halls are all open. We had one hall where new residents came in and I wasn't allowed to go there because they had to be under quarantine for 14 days. So it's been rough because new residents coming in, they do have problems with diet, ordering things, their laundry, getting things back. Maybe they have a problem with an aide that doesn't respond to them or whatever. It could be any non-medical thing. And I found that was helpful, and I could go back to them and see if things were corrected and all. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that again.
Right. And just that connection that you make with that new resident, because you've all been there and we know how effective the peer program is with new residents, introducing the program and giving them your name. If you have any questions, I live here too, come get me. So
Right.
it makes it a lot different when you aren't able to do that. How about you, Anna? What changes have you seen with your peer support to your fellow residents this past year?
Pretty much the same as what Nancy had to say. I agree with that. And I have my own personal problem because I have a hearing problem, and some of the residents have hearing problems also. And you talk to them, it's kind of like a shouting match. It's difficult. But other than that, several of them I've had no problems with. And I agree too, there for a while we could not go into their rooms. And now that we can, I feel more comfortable with that. I take them the books and I try to feel them out on what's of interest to them. And if I can't help them, I try to refer them to people that can help them, like the social worker or the pastor,
Excellent.
whatever the particular problem is. And that seems to be working.
Wow, that sounds great. Sounds like you guys are getting back out there again. Terry, how about you? What's going on there with the changes that you've had with your peer support to your fellow residents?
Actually, I'm feeling lucky here. Other than not being able to get together in a group down in the rec room, I mean, we're able to go from floor to floor, visiting patient or resident rooms. And I don't, I go to different floors just doing the menu. So, and it feels weird now to do that I'm able
Yeah.
to go on another floor. But yeah, there's nothing right now that says we can't go anywhere that we don't want to go. And
Good.
that's that for quite a few weeks now.
So it's
So-
kind of getting back to business as usual for our peers. We're putting them back hard. You guys are hard at work again, as always.
That's, yes, at least
Good, good.
our facility is.
This makes
great.
us all happy on this call. I can tell you 100%. So with that, we're gonna backtrack. We're at Christmas, but I want to know, what did you guys do at your facilities for Thanksgiving? We'll just start with you, Terry. So what
I had-
was,
I had Thanksgiving dinner. That was about it. I mean,
so
they
did
served-
you have were you able to eat in the dining room together, or did you have to stay in your room?
We could have eaten in the dining room together. Most of us still just eat in our rooms. I ate with my roommate, I mean, we had the
Okay.
turkey, stuffing, potatoes type thing. Although with our dietary stuff, they are dealing with issues of not, supply and demand.
Mm.
So there was no cranberry sauce because they
Uh-huh.
couldn't get cranberry sauce.
Uh-huh.
Now, that's a big issue with the kitchen right now, is that what they order, but what they get can be two different things.
Sure, sure. I think everybody on this call can also tell you, I've gone to the grocery store. I don't know if many of you are familiar with Cope's corn. That's an old fashioned, I could not get that for this Thanksgiving. So there is an issue. I can't imagine on a larger level how difficult that is. How about you, Anna? How was your
Well,
Thanksgiving? Did you go out?
Oh, I did. That was wonderful. I went to my daughter's house. Most wonderful time. But here in our dining room, it was different. Like last year, there's a big difference. Last year it was more festive. They both times they had colored tablecloths on the table. This year I could see in, and it was that was kind of like it. Last year they had fresh flowers on the table. They had napkins folded in such a way as if you were in a restaurant, cloth napkins. And of course the food was very good. It really, there was a difference. They didn't have this year, it was explained by Dave, who's our food manager. They didn't have the participation to like decorate or do anything fancy like they did last year. So I'm hoping for Christmas, maybe we see a little more effort put into it. I'm going to see
What
if
do you think that's a change in activity staff or budget, or what do you attribute that to?
Oh, that's a good question. And I have not the slightest idea. Who's
Yeah,
responsible.
because that seems odd that it was more last year than this year. What about you, Becky?
I'm trying to remember Thanksgiving. We didn't do much here. I think, well, we had a Thanksgiving dinner with turkey and pumpkin pie. I remember eating it alone in my room.
Hmm.
don't think anybody showed up in the dining hall because of COVID.
Right.
But hopefully things will be better for Christmas.
Mhm.
Although a friend of mine here and I have a big joke, Christmas, they give shrimp cocktails with the dinner. So the less people that show up, the more
There you
shrimp
go.
Becky gets.
That's a silver lining. How about you, Nancy?
Yes.
Well, this year we were able to go out. Last year we were not. Many people went out with their families, and that was great. I was happy to go out with mine, and I had a
Of course.
wonderful time. Yeah. The people that were in got a turkey dinner at lunch. But what we used to have, they weren't allowed to have relatives come in and for a small get a dinner and eat with their resident. We weren't allowed to do that. Hopefully next year they will have that. We weren't allowed to go to the dining room, which was very sad. We had to eat, they had to eat in their rooms. So I had a great Thanksgiving, but some people in here were not as happy.
Right, right. Understandably.
Yeah.
For the people, I'm so happy for the people that were able to go out. But for those
Right.
residents that were, that aren't as fortunate as some of us, that they have to
Right.
stay in their room and eat by themselves instead of going to a dining room. So that's something that we really can hope will be much better next year.
Right.
So another question we have is, Carol D has a really good question in the chat, and I'm just gonna add it. She wants to know how you guys keep your spirits up throughout all of this. Especially when you have when everything's going great and all of a sudden they say, sorry, COVID's in the building.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Well, when COVID's in the building, now we don't have anybody that has. We have a hallway that is designated for, as a hall where COVID people go. And then the other halls can stay open. So that's good that they come in and they are quarantined for 14 days. No one in the facility that has COVID right now.
Wow. Oh, so I'm trying to get her muted here.
Don't mute me.
Okay, you got it? All right. So yeah, so Becky, how have you been keeping your spirits up?
I'm just personally an upbeat person. So I'm silly and I'm just a goof, and that keeps me uplifted.
Right. So Becky, you're just saying that normally you've been able to keep your spirits up, and you probably make a big difference with your friends there also.
I hope so. I hope I do.
How about you,
It's-
Anna? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Becky.
I'm fortunate to have a computer here, and I have
Ah.
become addicted to solitaire.
Wait, I want to hear this. Anna, what did you say? You're addicted to what?
Solitaire.
Ah, solitaire.
I can't go to bed at night unless, like, when I play the game, I've got all the cards where they should be.
Oh my goodness.
And
Hey, that's what-
I enjoy sending email and getting email and
Mhm.
reading. So I'm quite content in my room.
Okay. All right, there you go. And Terry, what about you? How are you keeping your spirits up?
Actually talking to friends around here, and I have a friend who I caught when I call that we talk to each other about an hour and a half and about each other's lives and carry on. But I have friends that we all talk together. If one's
Yeah.
down, they know to go come get another person, and
Mhm.
there's just a group of us that we talk together all the time.
Right. So I think everybody in this call would agree. You're all just amazing. Amazing. And you're an example for all of us when we feel sorry for ourselves that we can't do X, Y, or Z. You all are keeping your spirits high and your fellow residents also. That's
Or I call
fantastic.
Corey.
Or you call Corey. Hey, that's a good one, right, Corey? Yeah, you're not minding that. So I want to ask you guys, before we open this up for questions from the council. And I'm going to start with you, Terry, because you're up on the screen. If you could have one wish, what would it be?
Probably to be able to function on my own. You know, to go
Yeah.
back to the old life,
Right,
back to where I used to live, where I had my friends. But it's not going to happen, so I'm going to have a new dream.
right, right. And you're certainly, you have proven that you make the best of your situation. You're an inspiration.
I think I have. You know, it's
Yes,
like
you have.
getting the library together.
Yeah, think of all the
I think I'm-
people, the lives you're changing within your community, for sure.
Yeah, I get a lot of thanks from people, so it's a good time. It's a good thing.
Mm.
Right. How
My
about
life
you,
said it
Nancy?
all.
If you could have one wish, what would it be?
Well, I have a bigger thing. I'd like to have world peace and everyone to have some peace within themselves. And certainly
Beautiful.
for the pandemic to end and people have good health.
Yes, beautiful. Anna, how about you?
I have a big wish, and it has to do with the laundry facility here. So many of my friends are unhappy with their participation because they're losing clothes, and that's not the way it should be. At our resident council meeting, quite often they have Kim is the girl. I don't know the name of the man that's in charge, but it sounds to me like they're doing a good job downstairs in the laundry room, getting the clean clothes up here. I think there's a problem when the clothes get here, getting them distributed to the residents that need them. So many times you see piles of them hanging on the rail, and that's not as it should be. And I would so like to see, my wish is that somehow we can bring more attention to the problem and have it resolved. That's my problem.
Well,
My-
Anna, you know where the first place to start with that is, right?
Tell me.
Have you gone to resident council and brought it up to the council?
We've discussed it many times, and they're aware that there is a problem, but nobody seems to be acknowledging it or doing anything to improve it.
What about writing a grievance?
Mm.
I'm not familiar with that.
There should be grievance forms at your facility. Everybody has to have them and they have to answer them. I think it's, oh gosh, within how many hours? Corey, help me out. Is it 72 hours?
Each home has their own
Right.
grievance policy, so
Yeah.
where Terry is, I believe it's 5 to 10 days they allow.
Yeah.
But from what I'm hearing, they're not even getting that 10 days in, so it's been a challenge.
Yeah, it's
Right.
addressed that.
I have resolved some issues here, one laundry, with the department head, and if that isn't resolved, I've gone to the administrator. And
There
then-
you go. Anna, did you hear that?
No, I'm sorry. Could you repeat it?
Nancy said you should go to the department head, whoever is the head of laundry, and if that doesn't work, go to the administrator.
Well, now the head that comes to our resident council meeting is responsible for the work that is done down in the lower level in the laundry room. When it comes up onto our floor is another situation. Now, who would I talk to about that?
So are you saying that the aides pass out the laundry then?
Yes,
Oh, that's something different. I've only ever known. So that would be nursing. That would be the director of nurses, if it's a nursing thing.
I would think
If-
laundry would totally belong to laundry from start
Yeah,
beginning to end. I mean,
But
we
if
have
there-
I
numbers-
would find that out for sure.
If there's not a head of that department, then you have an administrator, and I would go to them.
Yes.
Right, I agree.
At the last peer meeting, we had the head of laundry come and speak. And that's when he made it clear that once it gets to the unit, it's up to the nursing staff to distribute it. So
Uh-huh.
Well, the administrator would be over the nursing.
That is, the next step is to talk with the director of nursing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yep, that's great, Kathy. So Kathy said they did, if, for anybody that didn't hear that, she's the ombudsman there. They did bring that up and the head of laundry at resident council said that once it's up on the floor, the nurse aides do that. That is a different situation there. I'd like to, wait, just a side note. Does anybody, any of the other peers, have you ever heard that before?
No, I haven't. And I
No.
don't think the aides are busy enough. They shouldn't have anything to do with the, with laundry at all. They've got enough to do.
Yeah.
That should be a laundry decision,
Yeah,
you know?
maybe they need to
Yeah.
rethink their policy, Anna.
Yeah, we have somebody
Yeah.
from laundry that comes up and delivers room
Sure.
to.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's interesting. Anna, so you have some suggestions there. Do you have any other questions about that?
I was even thinking of volunteering to help, but I'm not in no position to do that, you know?
Yeah, you shouldn't have
Yeah.
to do that. That's what you pay them for.
Right, I don't have the answers to all my questions. But
Right.
I would be very happy to see an improvement be made.
Well, your questions about the laundry, you could write a grievance. Kathy can help you with that because they should have the forms there. You can do all of the above. You can do that. You can talk to the director of nurses about the nurse aides delivering the laundry that is not getting out. And then if that doesn't work, then your next step would be the administrator, right? Because you already said resident council, that was brought up. They have to answer the grievance in a timely manner.
I
Yeah,
wa-
'cause
I was
those-
not aware we had it.
Those grievances go to the administrator, ultimately,
Yes,
and then the state comes in and looks at how many
yes,
grievances are about something and what's been done to resolve that. So the more grievances that go in, or concerns, whatever you want to call them, they have to address that. And the,
100%.
yeah,
Excellent point. Excellent point, Nancy. She's right, because the state does come in and look at them. Most facilities, I wasn't aware, most of them have them out. They're supposed to be where the residents can grab one. I've
Right.
seen them on the hall. So they're wheelchair level, so you can grab one. There should be a box with, that you can put the grievances in.
My one resident that I talked to today to find out how things are going currently, she has lost, several pieces of clothing. And she said that she has seen down on the first floor, some residents wearing clothes that looked to her like they could be her clothes. And she said she's concerned about how she looks. Some of the residents, they dress the aides rather, dress the residents with the clothes because they're kind of like not all 100%. And it doesn't matter what they wear, but she cares about her clothes. And
Of course.
so she's paying for the service and she's not getting the results.
Well, that's very unfortunate because then it becomes a dignity issue because they need to take care with every resident, whether they're have dementia or not, and take care in what they're wearing and everything, because it's very
Right.
important to everybody, right?
Right.
So I think we gave you some good starters there, Anna.
Candy,
Yeah,
I know in our facility, the director of social services is also the grievance person.
they usually
Mhm.
are.
They get all of the grievances.
There has to be a grievance officer in every building.
mhm.
Yes.
And it usually is social services. I've seen an administrator do that. But usually there has to be a grievance officer at every. But the best thing is like I said, to actually fill out the form, because that's a paper trail
Right.
also.
That goes right to the grievance person. Yeah, the grievance officer.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, Jamie, do you think we should open this up for some conversation here?
Absolutely.
All right. All right, everybody, we have a open forum here. If anybody has any questions for these amazing peers. Don't all talk at once.
I think you guys did such a fabulous job. Nobody has anything to say now. They're overwhelmed with your knowledge.
They are. I mean, they're every time they're on these calls, you're like, you want your jaws dropping at the information we get from all of you. You are truly the experts. Anybody have anything they want to say to the peers or questions they're wondering about? Oh, we need to find out, Becky. I forgot to find out what your wish is.
Oh, my wish. My wish. Oh, is for peace on earth.
Yes. Yes.
This is a terrible world we're in now. And
Mhm.
I just wish things will be better,
Yes. Yes.
especially for my grandchildren who are just growing up into this world.
That's right.
And that's it. Peace on earth.
All right. I love that, Becky. Thank you. It reminds me of the beautiful song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. You can't, that beautiful
Yes.
song. Oh, I just got choked up thinking about it. So
I know, I
from
started
our-
crying.
Yes. From our Corey wants to know what you guys are looking forward to this year. Becky, let's start with you. What are you looking forward to in both your life in 2022 and from the peer program?
Oh, the rich millionaire.
Uh-huh. Okay, we'll put that on your list.
Yes, please do.
Okay, I'm writing it
And-
down.
For the sun to come out again. I want it to be summer because I love to suntan.
Ah, me too, Becky.
Yeah, and I'll be nice and tan for the rich millionaire.
There you go. Yes.
That's
So you're
gonna
looking-
show up on, he's gonna show up on a white horse in front of our nursing home.
All right, and you're gonna be all golden tan. Perfect. Yep, you're waiting for that
Yes.
2002 sunshine. I'm there with you, I'm
Yes.
telling you. How about you, Anna?
Okay.
What are you looking forward to in 2022 in your personal life and also in the peer program? What would you like to see?
Okay, my wish for the coming years is to continue my good health. I'm not in perfect
Yes.
health, obviously, but when I look around me and I see the condition some of our fellow residents are in, I thank God, really,
Yes.
And
Mhm.
I'm so grateful. And I'm not walking. I can walk. I'm so afraid of falling, and I don't want to be a burden to the others. I don't want to be a burden to me. So that's my big thing. And I hope my family's doing well. I just hope they do better.
Right.
Got an excellent job.
Beautiful.
Everything's going well in my family. I'm grateful for that.
Oh, and we're grateful for you. And how
Thank
about you, Terry? What are you looking
Oh.
forward to?
I would like to see my brother. He lives like 6 hours away, so it's hard for him to get up here, but I'm thinking he'll come up soon. That would be nice just to see him again. And what else? Maintain my health. It's doing pretty good. And things are going good, so I think I'll keep it at that.
All right. What about the peer program? Do you have any wishes for the peer program in 2022?
More peers.
More peers. Let's graduate.
Yes.
Let's double it.
And this is really
Oh,
self.
right.
This is self. I don't know what you want to call it, but more peers that can function. What I mean by that is a lot of the peers we lost a lot of peers during COVID. So the peers we have left are no longer, they're not mobile anymore or mentally able to function as well as they used to.
Yep, that happens to all of us, right?
Pretty much it's
Mhm.
left me and I need some help.
Well, I know Corey, as soon as she can get some peers in there, she's gonna get you some help, right,
Oh,
Corey?
we have a list.
Uh-huh,
Yes.
uh-huh. Yep. Hey, Nancy Koppel, what are you looking
Yeah.
forward to in the year 2022?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing my family more, going out to their homes and being with my granddaughters in person, getting hugs. I miss my hugs. That makes me feel.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
just maintaining my health too, so I'm able to go out and be out and enjoy myself. And I'm looking forward, we have 3 new peers here at this facility. 3 people I talked into becoming peers, and they did virtually get their training.
I know that, Tracy, I'll tell you, fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to getting them acclimated to being a peer and
Oh, wow.
out. So, because I was the only active peer out of, now there's 7 of us. There used to be only 4, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, wow. You guys
So
are
the
amazing.
residents will have more help.
Right. Absolutely. The more peers there are, the more people's problems we can help and advocate for, right?
Right.
And all 4 of you are proof to everybody on this call of what this program does. It empowers you to help other residents and problem solve. And all these things that we've been talking about, I've been involved in this program for a while now, and I still continue to be amazed and jaw dropped at all of you. You are all an inspiration to myself, and I would say everybody on this call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, you
Thank
really are.
you.
Yes. Jamie, do we have any questions or any hands up? I didn't see any.
I don't see any at this time.
All right, so I guess we're gonna sign it over to you. Thank you to all my distinguished guests that were on here today. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Thanks, Jamie, for inviting us on, and we'd love to do it again.
Candy,
Yes.
Nathan says hello.
Where, oh my goodness. Is he in the room?
I had called him.
I
when
want to
first-
meet Nathan.
And he called back a few minutes ago, and I told him I was on with you, and he said, "Oh, tell her I said hello."
Yes, well, you tell him I said hello and to give me a call sometime.
Okay, I will.
Oh, fantastic job,
That just
everyone.
made my- Thanks.
Thank you so much. We look forward to having the peers on again.
Yes.
And now we're going to review our upcoming meeting topic. So just so everyone knows, this is our last meeting for 2021. We will not be having a meeting in 2 weeks. We usually would. So on the 28th, we're not going to have a meeting since a lot of folks are off, and it takes a lot more than just me to run this show behind the scenes. So we're going to let them enjoy their holidays, and we'll see everybody in 2022. Our first meeting is going to be January 11th, and we're going to do an open forum discussion with the family members. So please
Nice.
have your questions ready. You can bring what concerns you're having currently, what topics you'd like to be covered in upcoming meetings. And I did want to give everybody a heads up. We are working on a survey to send out to the family members so that you can help direct us for what topics you would like to see in 2022. So we're really looking forward to that. And as always, thank you so much for attending the meeting tonight. If you have any specific questions or concerns, you can contact Mr. Jay Rotz over at the State Ombudsman Office at 717-783-8975, or shoot him an email at ltc-ombudsman@pa.gov, or you can hop over to the Facebook page and chat with me, either on the main
Yeah.
page or over in the chat area. So happy holidays, everyone, and have a fantastic new year. Have a
Merry
great night.
Christmas. Thank you,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
Christmas.
Everybody.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry
Thank
Christmas
you.
all.